Hello, this is my first YouTube video and I'm going to use it to try and describe to people who can't quite get a grasp on how to circular breathe in the didgeridoo. There's not an awful lot to it and I'm not really a believer in big long-winded explanations, so I'm just going to go over it briefly and then show you. So first of all, make sure you can actually get a drone. You put your mouth over it and you go or until you get the sound that you want. Just like that. You should probably start off just with your one breath, all the air in your lungs, push it all the way out, and until you feel very comfortable, until you've got the sound that you want, you've got the position on the didge that you want, and it's nice and constant. That's what you want. Then all you got to do is breathe in at exactly the same time as you're breathing out. So the theory behind this is that you're going to breathe in through your nose and you're going to breathe out through your mouth. So presumably originally you're going to be pushing from your stomach, pushing from your diaphragm, pushing the air out your lungs, out your mouth, into the didgeridoo, and getting your drone. Now obviously you have to stop this in order to breathe in, because you can't have two flows of air unless you're a Tibetan monk or something. So you take the air in your cheeks instead. That's why we'll puff up our cheeks when we're playing the didgeridoo. So you take your drone, and originally you're pushing from your stomach, and when you want to take your breath, or when you need to take your breath, you are instead stopping the air coming up here. You're just taking the air in your cheeks and going like that instead. And at the same time as doing this, because you've got no air coming up through your throat, you're going to breathe in through your nose like that. So eventually you're going to go do that about 1,000,000 times until you feel really comfortable and you've got a nice... Don't just go like that, because that's obviously no good. You've got to have it quite controlled. Just like that. So yeah, basically just put that on the didgeridoo. Mouth on the didgeridoo. Start with your drone, take as many breaths as you want, and when you want to, just push with your cheeks. Okay, just take the air and just push it out. I would counsel against perhaps completely emptying your cheeks, because then you might completely lose your sound, because the point really of circular breathing is to kind of keep a nice constant motion, a nice constant sound coming out your didgeridoo. And if you don't time it right, it's all timing and awareness of breathing, then you're going to lose your sound and you're going to have a gap, which is fine when you start with, but in the end that's not really what you want. Secondly, if you completely empty your cheeks, you might end up completely overcompensating. You might not lose your sound, but if you suddenly kick in with your lungs again, you're going to go like that, and you're going to end up getting a big horrible fat sound, which it just ruins it, especially if you want to perform or something. On the other hand, if you can control your cheeks properly, this is probably a second stage after you've mastered circular breathing, you can get a nice wah 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 sound, which is awesome. By the way, this is a cheap as shit didgeridoo. I've seen most of the videos tend to be professionals with ridiculous 50-foot long didgeridoos and wax all over the top, and they make it look really easily, but this one's got no wax. It's a complete piece of crap, and it's actually quite hard to get a sound out of initially, but I got it in a market in the north of Scotland for 20 quid, so I'm not complaining. So put your mouth over, we're going to breathe out. Notice when my cheeks go in, that's when I'm pushing the air out, but I'm breathing in through the nose at the same time. Okay, so keep an eye. Just like that. And I would also point out that if you are wanting to do your circular breathing and whatnot, try and change it up a little bit. Like sometimes take small but frequent breaths, and then sometimes take one big breath every like 10 seconds or something, because you get to the stage that you are doing rhythms, like specific, beats on the didgeridoo. You're forced to take your breaths very short usually and in a very specific place. So try not to get stuck into one pattern of breathing, because it's only going to be harder to break it. And also try and train yourself to make the whole breathing out and breathing in at the same time one fluid motion. Try not to think about it too much. Just keep practicing with or without the didgeridoo. I just walked around going on the streets for like ages, and then I went back to the didgeridoo and it was easy. So yeah, make it one nice fluid motion, because the more unconscious it is, the easier it will be for you to do other things. It's kind of like driving, if you're not having to think about constantly shifting gear and you're just doing it really easy, then you can concentrate on other things and you're less likely to have an accident. So that is my instruction. I hope it helped. If it didn't, well, there are an awful lot more videos out there, maybe more helpful for you. So good luck.